It's Thursday, January 11th, 2023. I'm going to start the video out and just talk about what I saw yesterday. I went grocery shopping yesterday. Went to Winco. If you don't know what Winco is, it's a giant discount grocer on the West Coast. And this is the first time that I've ever been to Winco over the years where they barely had eggs. And the price of eggs, as you know, is skyrocketing. And this is the first time ever at Winco because they're so stocked up on everything. And they do such a great job keeping so much stock in their stores. But this is the first time yesterday where it was so noticeable, the depletion of eggs. And I thought it was really, really startling. And of course, egg prices just skyrocketing. I also looked at, what was it, Farmer John's sausage, the little pack of Farmer John's sausage. A couple years ago, they were 99 cents. Now they were like $1.89, almost $2 at Winco, a discount store. So I would imagine at a Kroger store like Albertsons, they're probably well over $2 for a little package of sausage. And, you know, we are going to see some very epic events take place in the United States in the very near future. Bank runs and food runs are coming to America. There is no doubt about it. People talk about bank runs every day, but what about the food runs? This is going to be a big, big problem. And looking at the price of groceries, even if the stores have inventory, the cost for food is not going to allow everybody to buy it. People are just, especially people on fixed incomes. If you're on government subsidy, how long can these people hang on? If you're making minimum wage, if you are working part-time, how long can you hang on at these prices? You're going to see a food crisis even if there's food in the stores because of the cost of food. Now, I want to get into what happened today. Dow Jones was up 268 points at close. NASDAQ up 189. Markets across the board up. And according to this article on CNBC, investors are confident that Thursday CPI will show cooling inflation and signal the Fed that previous interest rate hikes have had their intended effects. Are you kidding me? So now all of a sudden, tomorrow, if we get a good CPI that shows cooling inflation, that this is it, the Fed's done, they're going to walk away, and this has had its intended its intended purpose. I don't think so. I think the Fed has been extremely hawkish. I think the Fed has been extremely clear that they're going to continue to raise rates across 2023. And many people in the Fed said they plan on holding rates above 5% or above throughout 2024. I just cannot believe the delusion that investors in these markets are under right now, that the Fed is just going to reverse course when they've clearly said it's not going to happen. Now, the forecast calls for a 6.5% increase from the prior year. So they're predicting or forecasting a 6.5% CPI tomorrow. Now, excluding food and energy prices, economists expect the CPI for December will be 0.3% higher than the previous month and 5.7% higher than the previous year. Now, please comment down below. Where's the number coming in? Is it going to be better than expected? Worse than expected? Will it be the expected 6.5%? If this number comes in the fives, market could go up over 1,000 points tomorrow. If it comes in under 6.5, look for a big day. If it comes in with a 7 on it, these markets are going to be in for big, big trouble tomorrow. And remember, we have earnings coming in on Friday. So this will be a very interesting day tomorrow. And how manipulated and how rigged are these numbers already? I'm having a very, very hard time believing any of these numbers now, any of the data that we're getting. It seems so manipulated, so rigged. There's so much cooking of the books going on right now. So who knows what to believe? But that's why I wanted to share the article when I went to the grocery store yesterday. Inflation is certainly not 6.5%. It's not 7.1%. Just looking at the price of meat, looking at the price of seafood yesterday, chicken, it's astronomical where prices have gone. And I don't see you know what? I don't see any prices coming down. When I go to the grocery store, I have yet to see anything really come down in price. Everything just seems, every week I go, it just seems to keep going up and up and up. And every time I'm there, I ask myself, how in the world are people doing this? If you have kids, how in the world are you doing this? I just couldn't even imagine how families are persevering through this inflation. But I think we know the answer to a lot of this is credit card debt. Wolfstreet.com, dip in mortgage rates, not slowing housing bust to mortgage lenders sing the blues. That's the title of the article. Existing home sales that closed in November have already plunged 35% year over year. The 16th month in a row of year-over-year declines, making this a historic plunge. Compared to a year ago, mortgage applications have plunged by 44%. The little dip that we got in mortgage rates has had absolutely no impact on mortgage applications because they are still dropping. Wells Fargo, as I reported yesterday, is pulling away from their home loan business. Wells Fargo shares are down 29% from their recent highs in February 2022 and down 36% from their all-time high in 2018. It's just shocking watching the markets up again today when we continue to hear more layoffs. You continue to see what's happening in the banking industry, more layoffs, Wells Fargo pulling away from doing home loans, and you look at where their shares are right now. The mortgage lenders who surpassed Wells Fargo, who are non-banks, if you look at where they're at from their highs, it's startling. Rocket Mortgage, who owns Quicken Loans, down 81%, down 81% from their all-time highs. United Wholesale Mortgage, down 73% from their highs, and Loan Depot down 94% from their highs. And the mortgage industry is going to get absolutely destroyed here. More layoffs coming. We're going to see massive layoffs in the mortgage industry, in the real estate industry, in the building industry. This is going to be an absolute typhoon of layoffs. Mortgage refinance demand surges as homeowners take advantage of lower interest rates. Now, isn't it amazing how the story changes when we look at this on CNBC today? Now, the 30-year fixed rate mortgage right now is sitting at 6.42%. That's down from 6.58%. This has sparked a whole 5% increase in applications, just applications. But down, this is down 86% from a year ago. So they try to make it sound so good, so appealing that things are coming back. How many of these people who applied for a mortgage were denied? But the bottom line here is it's down. Mortgage applications are down 86% from a year ago. How about this one? I was reading this article on the Drudge Report today. U.S. household debt rises to $16.5 trillion. That's a 7.65% increase from the year before. That's a huge, huge increase. And some of this data in this article is downright frightening. The average U.S. household debt last year, check this out. We'll break it down. $222,000 in mortgage debt, $17,000 in credit card debt, $29,000 in auto loan debt, and $58,000 in student loan debt. That's the average household debt last year owed. This according to deadwallet.com. Credit card balances carried from month to month have gone up over the past year, totaling $460 billion. I mean, these numbers are absolutely shocking. And my question is to all of you, what happens to the average household that doesn't have a cash reserve? The average household who is so far into debt, what happens when somebody in that household loses a job? What happens when there's an emergency? This is why half the country doesn't even have $400 in savings. And this just tells you and I how bad this is going to get and how bad it's going to be. Imagine what is going to happen to these people because they are so unprepared. I mean, they have absolutely no money saved up. We're looking at a savings rate of what is it, 2.5, 2.7, 2.2%. I can't keep up with the number. So basically, out of every $100 you make, these people can save $2. After they've paid all their bills, after they've paid their taxes, they can save $2 out of 100. How in the world are these people going to survive the worst economic crisis the world has ever seen? This is a barometer of how unprepared we are, how unprepared millions of people are, and how so many people are really going to get destroyed here, because the credit cards are eventually going to run out. They're going to tap out these credit cards, and then at some point, these banks will start shutting down the credit cards, and people will be left out to dry. Another article today, this one we're going to shift gears here a little bit on Yahoo Finance. FAA outage, cause not clear. This is giant news, and I haven't seen too much of it on the television today, but the latest update, 8,000 flights delayed today, 1,200 canceled. Where are the backup systems I thought that we had? What happened? They're saying that right now, there's no evidence of a cyber attack. Do you believe that? Who knows? But it seems like every week now we have a grid being attacked. Now planes can't take off because systems go down. So we have over 8,000 flights delayed, over 1,200 flights canceled, no backup systems. But I guess this was just another so-called glitch, nothing to worry about. Here's one from the Hedge today. Computer outage hits Canadian flight system hours after U.S. system went down. Is this just a coincidence? You tell me, comment down below. But this is quite concerning. Just imagine when something happens to the financial system and Wall Street has to close down for a day or a couple days or a week. The system is very, very fragile, ladies and gentlemen. There is so much technology out there. We have so many enemies. It is just a matter of time before the financial system gets shut down, your banks get shut down, more airports and planes get shut down. Everything is going to get shut down. So you got bank runs, you got food runs, and you got everything getting shut down. The technology is out there. We have the enemies that are going to do it at some point. And again, just like most people are unprepared for a financial crisis, they are unprepared for a grid crisis, for a grid to go down. They have no food, no water, no training, no preparation whatsoever. I want to close with another article today that I was reading, and it was just discussing preachers and how they have failed you. And it made me think. I was just reading this article, and it was just making me think a little bit, and I jotted down some notes. And I have to say that the church, the preachers, they have failed us. They have failed us. And they are going to be held accountable for doing so. They don't want you to think for yourself. They don't want to scare you. They don't want to prepare you. They are literally like the cheerleaders that I watch on these financial channels, telling us everything's okay. Just think positive. Don't be negative. Everything's good. Everything's going to be good, and everything's going to keep getting better. Don't be negative. Just think positive, and everything's going to be okay. You know, if you went to the doctor tomorrow and the doctor said, hey, everything's fine, everything looks good, nothing to worry about, have a great day, enjoy life, you're fine, nothing to worry about. See you next year. Yet, they knew that they found something in that CAT scan, that X-ray, that MRI, whatever it might have been, a test. They found something wrong. They found, let's say, for example, some type of growth, but yet they told you everything was okay when it wasn't. But they didn't want to scare you. They wanted you to stay positive. They didn't want you to take action. They just wanted you to go on with your life. Would you hold that doctor accountable? Would you be upset? I would be. Yet we watch these cheerleaders every day on the television, on these financial channels. People go to church every Sunday. Maybe they go 3 times a week. Maybe they watch their favorite pastor on television telling you and I everything is going to be okay, yet they know it's not. They know that something is wrong, yet they don't want to scare you. They don't want you to stop making those donations to the offering tray. They want you to keep coming back and coming back. And if they scare you, you're not going to come back. Or most people won't come back. The people who want the truth will come back. But just think again, if your doctor knew this and didn't tell you, you would hold them accountable. Why are we not holding these preachers accountable? Why are we not holding these people on the television accountable? They are giving all of us a false sense of security and a false sense of hope. And many, maybe not all, but many know something is very wrong. But they're going to continue to cheerlead all the way to the very, very end. And they're going to mislead people. And this is going to cost people a lot of money. And as far as preachers, they're going to cost people their eternity because they're misleading people. And these people are going to go to a very, very bad place because they are not prepared. You know, we must be preparing for a spiritual war. And if we are not treating the growth, if we are not treating the problem right now, we are going to lose. You're going to lose financially. You're going to lose spiritually. And I see a lot of people making videos every day on how bad the economy is, all the stores closing, interest rates going up, inflation going up, yada, 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 yada. Okay, tell us something we don't know. If you really believe that there's going to be bank runs, that there's going to be food runs, if you really believe there's going to be major crisis in America, which I certainly do believe, and most of you believe too, then obviously there's something very evil and very sinister going on. And that would alert you to the fact that this is a spiritual war. And how can you deal with this if you don't understand or believe that there is a God and there is a devil, there is good, there is evil? And the best way to prepare for a spiritual war is getting very, very close to God, getting very, very humble, working on your faith, saying your prayers, thanking God for everything you have, and absorbing the knowledge that He is giving you. But again, a lot of people talk a lot, but they don't walk the walk. There's a lot of talk out there. There's a lot of people out there that want to get a lot of views. They want to scare people, but they don't have the answers how to really prepare. Do they have security? Most of these people don't. Take a look how weak they are. Look how they walk. Look how weak they carry themselves. You know they don't have security because they're scared. How in the world would you ever protect yourself or your family if you're not training and working on your security right now? How in the world will you win in a spiritual war if you're not preparing and walking close to God right now? There's just so much talk out there from the preachers and the churches to a lot of people making videos, just talking and talking and talking, but not walking the walk. And they're misleading people. And they're not getting people prepared. It's one thing to identify the problem, to alert people to what's happening in the economy, but what in the world are you doing to prepare other than just talking? And I look at so many of these people. They look spiritually weak. They look physically weak. And these are not people I would want next to me in a fight. These are not people I would want next to me in my home during a depression. These are not people I would want taking and covering my back during a battle, that's for sure. Because spiritually, they're extremely weak, physically extremely weak, and they really are not prepared for what's happening. And if they really believed what they were saying, they would be preparing right now. They would be getting in better physical shape, and they would especially be getting in better spiritual shape. Ladies and gentlemen, this life is short. Just blink your eyes. How many years have you already lived? How many years, how many birthdays have you already had? How quick it went by. This is going to be very, very temporary. where do we go after this? Are you prepared for that? It's going to get bad. People are going to be tested. The preachers have failed you. The churches have failed you. Now, you must make sure you don't fail yourself. You don't fail your family. You don't fail your friends. You must continue to prepare, ladies and gentlemen. And as I leave you today, walk close to God, get in the best physical shape of your life. Make sure you're training. My advice is train for a fight, because you may be in one at some point. And I hope you're not. I hope it never happens. But how are you ever going to win a fight if you've never been in a fight? People just think like it's never going to happen to them. They're going to just walk around and nothing's ever going to happen to them. Nobody's ever going to come to their house for the food. Yet they believe that we're going to have a food crisis. They believe we're going to have bank runs. They believe the economy is going to head into a depression, yet they're not prepared. You better be prepared physically. You better be prepared to win a fight, ladies and gentlemen. You better be prepared to win this financially. You better have assets. You better be prepared to win this depression. You better be prepared to win this food crisis. So you better have food prepped at your house, stored away, and water. There's so much you should and could be doing right now. So to the people out there just walking around and telling everybody what's going to happen, what are you doing to prepare? I can tell you what I'm doing. I'm training every day, either at the gym, on the mat, I'm at the range, I'm saying my prayers every day. Yesterday, back to the store, more canned goods, a little bit more supplies every week, top it off, top it off. You know what I did actually? I went and rented a storage unit, small one, just so I can go put food in a climate-controlled storage unit. And not saying that everybody can do this, but if you can, think about it. So to take some of the food out of the home, put it in another location so it's not all in one place, take some of the food in a climate-controlled unit, got a really, really good deal on it, and now putting food over there. So I thought that was a good idea, not to have it all at the house and to move some of it to another location with some other supplies. You know, maybe you can put some extra clothes there, some extra gear, some extra propane, some extra charcoal, maybe extra, name it, whatever. Get a small unit. And we got this one extremely cheap. And maybe it doesn't even have to be climate controlled, but this one it was such a good deal. I grabbed it, but I just said, hey, why not just move some of this stuff out of the house and move it over there? This way, you know, if something were to happen, I have more items, more gear in another location on top of these other locations. So that's just me thinking outside of the box. So, you know, just do what you can. And if it's a little, that's okay. A little will go a long way when things break apart. You will be glad that you had some preparations, even if they were little. It's going to make a big difference, ladies and gentlemen. The more you can do, the better off you are. But doing nothing is going to guarantee, that's a terrible strategy of doing nothing, but it's going to guarantee that you lose. So do what you can do. Stop just talking. There's so much talk. It is about what are you doing right now? And if you really believe in what's happening, then you better get right with God, because this is spiritual warfare. God bless. Talk to all of you very soon.